That's why I don't be going to the puffy parties. They can hug you from the front and the back at the same time.
It's crazy, the feature came about, I was just in the Bahamas. Shit was mad random. Diddy was in the Bahamas working on the album. I went over to where they were staying. They had a set up there in the studio.
Miss me though, for real, because it seems like a thing.
I miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party,
Puff, man.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying? I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's your birthday on Drink Champs.
You heard what he just said, right?
So Fab, how was your birthday, man?
Yeah,
what was your wish?
I like Bob.
So 50 Cent just put Fabolous on blast, claiming Fab was allegedly Diddy's side piece for years. And yeah, it sounds wild, but stick with me. You probably remember that wild Drink Champs interview where Diddy kept pestering Fab to party with him, and Fab looked super uncomfortable. Now at the time, everyone thought Fab was the victim in that situation. But here's the thing, it turns out Fab did end up partying with Diddy a lot after that interview. They were hanging out, going on vacations, recording music together. Basically all up until the Cassie lawsuit and all those allegations against Diddy started coming out. In fact, just a few months before Cassie's lawsuit dropped, Fab was in a video with Diddy and City Girls for that track Act Bad. And in this video, Diddy was basically giving a sneak peek of what goes down at those freak-offs. Now, ever since all those allegations about Diddy started surfacing, Fabolous has been acting like he had nothing to do with the Diddy drama. Well, 50 Cent is here to remind him. See, 50 was actually one of the first to call out Diddy's weird behavior during that Drink Champs interview with Fab. Back then, people just brushed it off and called 50 a hater. But now, everything he said is looking pretty spot on. So you already know 50's out here having a field day and saying, "I told you so." But here's where it gets even messier. Besides clowning Fab on IG, sources close to 50 are saying he's also planning to reveal even more about Fab and Diddy's special relationship in his upcoming Diddy documentary. And this is 50 we're talking about, so you know things are about to get real petty. So what's the deal with these rumors about Fab being Diddy's side piece? And how did Fab respond to 50 trolling? Alright, so 50 Cent just came hard for Fabolous this week, dragging up that infamous Drink Champs interview that Fab probably hoped everyone forgot about. 50 posted a clip from the interview on his Instagram, and in the caption, he called out Fab and all the other rappers who spent years letting Diddy talk to them crazy and never said a word. 50 wrote, "See how they was all acting like everything normal because they looked up to Diddy. I was saying this dude's a fruit pop, so I'm a hater. Me." Now, some fans in the comments were quick to defend Fabolous, saying he was not with it, like at all, and that his body language was loud. And while that may be the case, it turns out that Fabolous continued spending time around Diddy. And yes, they even partied together after this interview, so he couldn't have been that uncomfortable. But just in case you missed it, here's the backstory. Back in 2017, Diddy showed up uninvited to a Drink Champs interview with Fabolous and Jadakiss. And when Fab was talking about spending his birthday with his kids, Diddy suddenly jumped in, asking if he missed partying with him that day.
So Fab, how was your birthday, man?
Yeah,
what was your wish for this year?
My
Health,
birthday was cool.
wealth,
Yeah.
knowledge itself. Watch
I like
nothing that over your cake, brother.
I like vibes. You know what I mean? I like a good vibe more than like wanting for anything. Like, you know what I mean? So I got a cool vibe. I spent some of the time with my kids. I went out, grabbed a bag, and I spent some more time with my kids. And, you know what I mean? I felt like I was a milestone age. I'm gonna have a party, and we had parties, but I was more like just trying to just vibe, like just see where I look back on where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real, because it seems like a thing.
I miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party.
Puff, man.
Diddy then kept pushing Fab to explain why they never partied together. And you could tell Fab was super uncomfortable. He basically avoided looking at Diddy and just stared at his plate for the rest of the interview.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
Yeah, we partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
And get this. During that same interview, Diddy called an O.R.E. Daddy a bunch of times and even made him blow out the birthday candles. Now an O.R.E. went along with it, but he made sure to blow them out from the side of his mouth.
Bag at Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
It's right
scrambling
here,
and scraping for
No, I got
I
notes
like
and
that.
shit. You know, I'll be practicing. I got
Yeah,
notes
there you
and
go.
shit.
Got your notes?
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go over with that one.
Make a
that
wish.
one.
Just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's a birthday on Drink
Okay.
Champs, goddammit. I'm in. Okay. No, we ain't fucking with that. I got notes now. I'm trying to get my life together.
It's crazy how all these men were too scared to call out Diddy for years. But now, everyone's asking why Cassie stayed with him. Makes you wonder how many of them were involved in all that freak-off mess behind the scenes. Anyway, back to Fabolous. So, after that Drink Champs interview where Fab looks super uncomfortable, you'd think he'd avoid Diddy and his parties at all costs. But nope. Fab actually went to a whole bunch of Diddy's parties after that. In November 2021, Fab even shared on IG that he went up to one of Diddy's parties, but things got so wild he had to sneak out by pretending to go to the bathroom. On his IG stories he wrote, "I told Diddy I was going to the bathroom and slid once it was 7 a.m. This dude was still turned." And apparently Mariah Carey was there too, because Fab added in a follow-up story that he sneaked out after telling Mariah he had to move his car before it got towed. According to Fab, they were recording some music that night. However, the work was already done. But Diddy wanted them to stay and drink wine. Fab wrote, "It was 6 a.m. and my verse been done. We was just drinking wine and telling stories." Then he asked his followers, "You ever get peer pressured into going to the afters? You really want to go home or back to the room, but you don't want to be the turn down to the turn up? One more question. You ever said you was going to the bathroom and left?" But what's crazy is that even after all that, Fabolous still kept partying with Diddy. And he also collaborated on Diddy's last album Love Off the Grid. So clearly whatever went down, Fab stayed close to Diddy way longer than people think. In fact, here's Fabolous at a party hosted by Diddy in New York City on September 15, 2023, just weeks before Cassie's lawsuit dropped. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Some sources have been saying that Fab probably felt like he didn't have much choice but to keep partying with Diddy, because Diddy allegedly had some disturbing footage on him. Now, this isn't confirmed, but the streets are talking about one of those parties where Diddy supposedly spiked Fab's drink, and then either Diddy or one of his male ex-workers did something to Fab, basically victimizing him. And allegedly, Diddy was filming the whole thing. But it gets even more sinister when you remember the backstory about Ray J, who publicly threatened he would send a man to grape Fabolous. Now fans are connecting the dots and speculating that Ray J was actually talking about Diddy. For years, rumors have been flying that Ray J was kind of an industry runner boy, doing dirty work for powerful people. And Ray actually kept close ties to Diddy. There's plenty of footage of him hanging at Diddy's place.
Shout out to the gang in the Southside. Alright, don't forget where you come from. Yeah, love. That guy in the building. Hey yo, this guy right here, one of the hip hop entrepreneur, young legends. He's in my gang. He gets money. Yes, he does.
Yes, I'm inspired though. God is good.
And then after Diddy got arrested, Ray J made some bizarre comment on his new show, where he kind of tried to distance himself from the whole thing.
Forgive somebody for taking some.
But what's crazy is that Ray J is now criticizing people for making jokes about the Diddy situation, when a few years back, he was out here threatening Fabolous with assault. So here's what happened. Ray J and Fabolous have actually had tension for over a decade now. And it all started because of a clip that surfaced of Ray singing at Floyd Mayweather's house during an HBO special.
Live, we got a serious concert that we got to attend to. Concert in my living room. You know, that's how we do. 24/7. Everybody, I'm gonna grab somebody hand.
After Fabolous saw the video, he jumped on social media and clowned Floyd for calling it a serious concert in his living room, when it was really just Ray J and a piano. Fab wrote, No, but Floyd saying, "We having a concert in my living room." And the camera cuts to Ray J singing One Wish on the piano had me in tears. But things really blew up when Ray J called into the Breakfast Club and went off in a wild rant, claiming he had already punched Fabolous at an after-party for disrespecting him and Floyd. But here's the interesting part. Ray J also brought up Diddy, hinting that Diddy was the one hyping him up to go after Fab in the first place.
When you want to disrespect me and the money team, and we got 7 Rolls Royces outside and we just made 350 racks on the... Don't disrespect me. I'ma smack you up again, fool.
All right, so Ray J, let's
talk. I'm saying. And Ray J got beat up. In the face, man.
You punched Fab in the face.
One time. Hey, all I'm saying is if you got Fab number, tell that send a picture of his face right now.
I said, so you went up to him at the after party.
I'm with the
what
money
happened?
team right now. We all over here. I swear to God, he running from me right now. I had 100 fools outside a moon right now. He never left the club. He was scared up in there. He tried to call the police.
So when you hit him, what did he do, Ray?
Nothing. He fell back because he's a sucker.
Okay, now Ray J, let me ask you. So he didn't hit you back?
Look, check this out. No disrespect. Like, shout out to my big bro Diddy because he tried to really be like, look.
Tell me calm down, brother.
I'm ready for this, man.
All right.
Straight up. Bitch ass.
Thank you, Ray.
Man, I hate to see
calling,
people
mama.
so mad like that. I don't want Ray J to do nothing
This
crazy.
nigga wanna talk. I was with Puff last night and I said, Puff, he said, listen, if anybody talks about me, I'ma smack them in the face. And I said, you know what? You
But
right.
it didn't stop there. Ray J took it way too far and actually threatened that if Fabolous didn't publicly apologize, he'd have one of his male friends grape him. Yeah, he actually said that.
Listen, Charlamagne, Envy, Angela Yee, I promise you, I'ma have Fab call up there, and he's gonna apologize to the Breakfast Club. He's gonna apologize to me for being a broke ass. That whole team, I'ma smack the out that bitch ass.
Try to get Fab on the line and squash the
Let's get Fab on the line right now. I'll smack out that nigga.
You can't smack him over the phone, Ray.
On the phone, that light, and they gonna rape that. Bring that nigga over and stick it in.
All right.
So the next day, Fabolous called in to clear the air. He denied ever getting punched, and definitely didn't apologize. Instead, he hinted that Ray might have been high and said the whole thing got blown way out of proportion.
It's more a war than a war between Ray J and me. You know what I'm saying? It's high and coked up or on pills, and you know, his rant, I heard this hilarious to me. First and foremost, joke to me. Like, it's not, I'm taking it serious on the side of where he thinks that that he should do that too, but I'm laughing at his whole character. Like, there's nobody that believes Ray J is gangster to that point unless he's gonna prove it. So at this point now, he's gonna have to prove all of this funny that he was saying on World Star. On the Breakfast Club. But it's like, yo, don't, because while he's talking to me, he's like touching my shoulder and like tapping me on the chest and like, you know, just talking. So I'm like, yo, if you're serious, like, let's this end this. Like, first of all, don't touch me no more. Don't touch my body in any form or way. Don't touch me. So he's like, what you mean don't touch you, Fab? And I said what I just said. Don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? And then from there he leaned back and then he like pushed off of me at my chest. So then when he pushed off of me, I jumped back to him and I grabbed him up. So I grabbed him up. It was no fight. It was no swing. This whole story that he made up, that whole Tupac rant about him swinging on somebody and all that shit, all lies.
Fabolous also addressed Ray J threatening to send a man to rape him, and he said, "This says a lot about the kind of men Ray hangs around." And since Ray mentioned Diddy during that same rant, you already know folks started connecting the dots.
I don't know what kind of niggas you roll with that say that rape niggas and all that, but they're not anybody over here on this side.
So now that old recording of Ray's threat is making the rounds again, and fans are wondering if he was actually talking about Diddy, especially knowing all the shady stuff Diddy's been accused of, and how weird he's acted around Fabolous before. Let's bring it back full circle, because all this noise resurfaced thanks to 50 Cent doing what he does best, stirring the pot and forcing the industry to look at what's been sitting in plain sight. And by the way, 50 is one of the few industry people who addressed that Drink Champs interview back in 2017 when it first aired.
He said something fabulous and he goes, yo, with me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party.
But I'm talking about for your birthday. Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
Well, you came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying? Eyes, brother. Eyes. I understand.
What you talking about? I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what
We all know 50's been calling out Diddy's behavior for years. And people used to dismiss him as just being petty or hating. But now, a lot of what he said is lining up with the allegations from the lawsuits. And it's all looking a little too real. So now that 50 brought up that whole drink champ situation with Fabolous again, insiders are saying he's not doing this just to troll. Apparently, 50's giving us hints of what he plans to include in his upcoming Diddy Do It documentary. Allegedly, this doc is going to include all the messy details about the celebs who went to Diddy's parties, the blackmail rumors, and the suspicious relationships Diddy had with certain rappers, including Fabolous. And now that 50's putting the spotlight back on him, Fab's silence is loud. He hasn't addressed any of this, and that just makes the speculation grow.